Have you ever wondered how animals mate in the wild? Most likely not. It sounds rather strange, right? But believe me, as soon as you watch this video to the end, you will regret not being interested in it earlier, because the process truly boggles the mind. Some animals mate for several days in a row. Others have entire rituals, full of strange and even amusing details, before you are 15 of the most unusual mating behaviors in the animal world. Now let us move to Madagascar, where one of the most unusual carnivores on the planet lives, the fossa. This graceful and dangerous cat-like predator stages mating games that are both astonishing and frightening. Fossas are not limited to a single partner. Both males and females can mate with several. The mating season lasts several days and turns into a true marathon of passion and struggle. When the female is ready, she sends a signal, a loud, piercing sound that can be heard for hundreds of meters. This call instantly raises the alarm among the males. They rush to the source, to the tree where the female waits, and a brutal fight begins. The males fight for hours, paying no attention to height, to pain, or to the bites of insects swarming over their bodies. Only one wins, the last one left standing. Only after that does he earn the right to climb the tree to the female. There, high among the branches, the act itself takes place. Tense, energetic, but brief. Sometimes, while one male is mating, new contenders are already gathering below, ready to enter the fray again. This is not just a competition for a partner. It is a true test of endurance, physical power, and determination. For the fossa, victory in such a battle is a matter not only of legacy, but of survival. These duels in the treetops are living proof that the instinct to reproduce can overcome even the fear of heights. Elephants are the embodiment of grandeur and wisdom, but even for these giants, love turns into a full-blown spectacle. Once, tourists managed to film an astonishing moment. The calm bathing of a herd at a watering hole suddenly turned into a turbulent mating scene. Loud trumpeting, heavy breathing, movements that make the earth tremble. All of this is part of nature's strongest instinct. Elephants are polygynous animals, meaning males mate with several females, especially during the rainy season. At that time, females release special pheromones in urine and secretions, signaling readiness. A male, catching the scent, makes a special movement, the Fleeman response. He lifts his trunk, draws in the air, and tastes it with an internal organ, analyzing the female's condition. The estrus cycle in females lasts from 14 to 16 weeks and is divided into two phases. In the first, the follicular phase, hormones only prepare the body. Then the female is not yet ovulating, but her body odor already changes, attracting males. And in the second, the luteal phase, ovulation occurs, and the struggle for her becomes especially fierce. It is interesting that in older females, especially after 45 years, fertility gradually declines, as in humans. And young males pass through a special state, musth, during which testosterone levels skyrocket to about 60 times above normal. Thick fluid flows from their temporal glands, and urine dribbles continuously. At this time, they become extremely aggressive and fight for females to the point of exhaustion. The victorious male raises his trunk, a sign of triumph, and such males are chosen most often. But even in this storm of passion, there is room for tenderness. Elephants can gently entwine trunks, as if holding hands, or arrange something like a dance. Slight swaying sounds, barely audible infrasounds perceived only by other elephants. For these giants, sex is not just the continuation of the species, but part of an emotional bond. Their relationships are built on trust, respect, and prolonged courtship. After mating, the female carries the baby for 22 months, a record term among land animals. And when a little calf finally appears, this event becomes a celebration for the entire herd. Adults surround it, sniff it, and shield it from the sun and dangers. Thus, the eternal cycle of life continues, majestic, tremulous, and strikingly human. And if you think about it, each of these mating rituals, however strange it may seem, is merely the manifestation of a single force that unites all living things, the drive to leave life behind. Leopards are famous not only for their beauty and grace, but also for incredible stamina when it comes to reproduction. These big predators can mate every 15 minutes for an entire week. Imagine, about 250 times in a single cycle. Leopards are not monogamous. One female can choose several males during a single reproductive period. However, this process is far from romantic. The male has to endure the female's aggressive behavior because during the act, his velvety-looking but spined penis causes her pain upon withdrawal. In response, the female often snaps, growls, and may even strike with her paw, trying to defend herself. Thus, the endless cycle continues. Pain gives way to desire, aggression to passion, and nature demands only one thing: the survival of the species. Despite all the harshness and pain, it is precisely this mad persistence that helps leopards maintain their numbers and preserve their lineage for millennia. And however wild this ritual may look from the outside, it remains the most important mechanism of survival in the world of predators. When it comes to cheetahs, the first thing that comes to mind is speed, but their love life is no less swift. Females signal readiness by using urine, leaving it in conspicuous parts of the territory. This scent is like an invitation to competition for males. But as soon as one makes a mark, others immediately appear. The battle for aroma begins. Each strives to overpower the rival's scent, marking trees, stones, bushes. And when the female at last notices them, the next stage begins: harsh competition. Males enter into contests where strength, agility, and persistence decide everything. Only one wins and earns the right to mate. But things are not so simple. The female may accept several partners over the course of her cycle, and then each has a chance to become the father. The mating act itself proceeds quickly, without long courtship or rituals. These are short but frequent episodes, repeated many times a day over 2 to 3 days. After that, the female withdraws into seclusion, into tall grass or thickets, where after several months, she gives birth to from 1 to 8 cubs, most often 3 or 4. Tiny cheetahs are born blind, weighing only from 150 to 300 grams. In the first weeks, the mother hides them from every eye, often changing location so as not to leave a scent for predators. When the cubs are about 2 months old, they begin to try meat, and by 4 to 6 months, they are already learning to hunt. They become true hunters only by 15 months, and by 20 months, they leave their mother, entering adult life. Their path from helpless bundles to kings of the savannah is short, swift, like the cheetah's life itself. The mating games of porcupines can safely be called among the strangest in nature. It all begins with a rather shocking gesture. The male sprays the female with urine. This is not rudeness, but a kind of test. If the female is not ready, she simply shakes it off, displaying complete indifference. But if she is ready, she turns over and offers her belly, the only part of the body where there are no dangerous quills. The window of opportunity for the female is extremely short, only from 8 to 12 hours in a year. Therefore, time is ticking, and the male must be extremely persistent. He follows her, courts her, and tries again and again to win her attention. When the moment comes, he must act with astonishing precision. The slightest careless movement, and a sharp quill can leave a wound. The male arranges himself with utmost care so as to avoid the quills, and the female, once she has agreed, remains almost motionless, giving him the opportunity to finish the process. But it does not end there. Mating can occur several times in a row until the female is finally satisfied. For the male, this is incredibly exhausting, physically and emotionally. And yet this complex, even dangerous system ensures that the lineage of porcupines will continue to exist despite all natural obstacles. Persistence, dexterity, and patience. This is what makes these animals true masters of survival. Rhinoceroses are huge, powerful, and often frightening in their aggression. But when the time for love comes, everything becomes even more impressive. In photographs taken in zoos, it is clear these giants know no embarrassment. If their instinct awakens, no curious glances disturb them. In such moments, their power turns into pure primeval energy. They snort, they puff, they shake the ground with their heavy bodies, as if everything around them were irrelevant. This force of nature does not tolerate boundaries. The passion of rhinoceroses is always on the verge of madness, but precisely in this lies all the wildness and beauty of the natural world. If you think pigs are not the most romantic creatures, warthogs can change your mind. Their mating rituals are a true show of strength, stubbornness, and, oddly enough, amusing perseverance. It all begins when males converge in a fierce clash. They bang foreheads, growl, shove, like fighters in an arena. These contests are not just a display of strength. They are a mandatory stage to prove to the female that you deserve her attention. The victorious male wastes no time. He begins to follow the female relentlessly, step for step, making characteristic loud clicking sounds. This is not a threat. It is his way to show he is ready. If the female remains indifferent, he does not give up. He becomes more insistent, playfully nips her, trying again and again to get a reaction. Sometimes these scenes look almost comical. The male runs around, spins like a clown, and the female pretends that all of this does not interest her at all. But persistence is the key factor. And when the female finally yields, mating happens quickly but very intensely. After that, the pair usually parts, and the male may again look for new partners. This mating ritual is the perfect combination of strength, patience, and, oddly enough, a sense of humor. It shows that even among wild animals, there is room for insistent courtship and a peculiar charm. And though the warthog does not look like the hero of a romance novel, his strategy works. And that is what matters for the survival of his species. In the world of hippos, there is no place for tenderness. Their mating scenes are true chaos, and everything happens right in the water, where roars, splashes, and smells mix together. When the female is ready to mate, the male begins with a check. He sniffs her rear and tastes her urine to determine the level of her fertility. Female hippos reach sexual maturity at about 5 or 6 years, although some may start earlier, as early as 3 or 4 years. Males are active year-round and ready to reproduce practically at any time. The real ferocity begins in the breeding season. Rivals come face to face, and each tries to prove that he alone deserves the female. To declare their right to territory, hippos scatter feces and urine with the help of the tail. Not very appetizing, but an extremely effective means of dominance. When one of the males has won territory and a female, the mating itself begins. It happens right underwater. The male holds the female, at times submerging her head, so she has to surface to gulp air. It looks rough and disorderly, but in the world of hippos, this is the norm. Pregnancy lasts about 8 months, which is rather short for such large mammals. A baby appears weighing approximately 50 kilograms. The female gives birth either in shallow water or right on the shore. After birth, she withdraws to a secluded place for 10 to 14 days to care for the little one in peace. She nurses both on land and underwater, lying on her side so the calf can suck comfortably. When the calf grows a bit, the mother transports it on her back into deeper waters, farther from predators. Hippo mothers are extremely caring and fiercely protect their young, even from other hippos. Like many large animals, hippos adhere to a K strategy. They give birth rarely, but carry well-developed offspring. A strongest bond forms between mother and baby, and only around 1 year does the young hippo become independent enough to begin its own life. And while their watery kingdom may seem calm, beneath the surface, a true elemental storm rages, a battle for power, life, and the continuation of the species. If lions turn mating into a demonstration of strength, bonobos make it a tool of peace and harmony. These amazing primates, also called pygmy chimpanzees, are known for having absolutely no shyness about displays of intimacy. In their society, sex is not merely a way to reproduce, but a form of communication. Bonobos use it to greet one another, to relieve tension after a quarrel, or even to prevent conflict. They are among the few animals, along with humans, who kiss with tongues and have sex face to face. And they have many partners. Monogamy is not in fashion here. Each act is part of a social game that maintains peace and unity within the group. When bonobos find food, they stage entire love festivals. Instead of fighting for food, they all have sex together. Conflicts ebb away, and the atmosphere becomes relaxed. Females play an enormous role in bonobo society. They have a large clitoris, and it is through sexual contacts that they build friendships and hierarchy. When a new female joins the group, she does not enter through a fight. She has sex with other females, thereby getting admission into the collective. Particularly curious is the habit of females rubbing their clitorises against one another, creating a strong emotional bond. This form of communication makes bonobos unique among primates. Their constant sexual activity not only strengthens social ties, but also makes them one of the most peaceable species on the planet. While other animals resolve conflicts with fists, bonobos rely on hugs, kisses, and trust. And it seems there is a deep meaning here. Love is also a way to survive. In the world of kangaroos, love is a real battle. There, in the dusty expanses of Australia, strength decides everything. When a female enters estrus, the period when she is ready to mate, a true marathon of struggles, scents, and cunning courtship begins. The female moves across a vast territory, leaving aromatic traces and signals that males unfailingly detect. Catching the scent, a male carefully studies the tracks and even tastes the female's urine to be sure she is truly ready. If she is not opposed, a gentle yet confident approach begins. He carefully moves closer, trying not to startle her. And then the ritual begins. Licking, light touches, scratches with his paws. Gradually, all of this leads to mating, which can last for hours. After that, the male rarely lingers long. Having completed his romance, he goes to look for a new partner, because for kangaroos, every chance is worth its weight in gold. But while one enjoys success, other males are already plotting. Rivals closely watch and wait for an opportunity to interfere. The largest and most dominant males do not leave far. They literally guard the females ready to conceive. Younger and weaker ones prefer roundabout paths. They look for females who have not yet entered estrus. While the strongest are fighting, the small tricksters try to be first. All this turns the kangaroo breeding season into a genuine battlefield, where victory comes not only from strength, but also from ingenuity. In the world of zebras, mating games resemble a series of duels and passionate displays. Their breeding season lasts only a few months, usually from August to September, and during that short time, the animals must manage everything, from winning a female to conceiving offspring. Male zebras become incredibly aggressive. They neigh, strike with their hooves, and bite one another, demonstrating strength and courage. All of it is to impress the female and prove their right to her. When the female is ready, she lifts her tail, a signal the male reads instantly. Then a complex dance of behavior begins. The male bares his teeth, displaying dominance, and the female may flatten her ears if she is not in the mood. Sometimes the process is accompanied by prolonged courtship and even scuffles among competitors. It is interesting that different species of zebras behave differently. Plains and mountain zebras usually mate only with one, the dominant male of their harem, whereas Grevy's zebras create true disorder. Females freely choose partners, and males compete not only with strength, but also with the quantity of sperm. They even have enlarged testes to increase their chances of success. Pregnancy lasts about 1 year, and soon after giving birth, the female can become pregnant again. A zebra foal stands on its feet within an hour after birth. Nature allows no time for weakness. It instinctively follows a moving object, and the mother keeps a sharp eye so that predators do not come too close. Thus, in the endless African savannas, the unceasing drama of life and love continues. Struggle, strength, rituals, and the eternal desire to pass life forward. If there were a prize for the strangest way of reproduction in the animal world, hyenas would undoubtedly be favorites. Their mating process is not just rare, it is a true anatomical challenge. The main peculiarity is that female hyenas have a so-called pseudopenis, an elongated clitoris that looks almost like a male organ. Because of this, even experienced researchers sometimes cannot immediately tell a female from a male, and it is through this pseudo-penis that the female has to give birth to her young. For the male, the path to mating is a quest with many dangers. He must carefully insert his penis into this organ without causing pain to his partner. The slightest awkwardness, and everything can end in injury or even death. Only the most patient and careful males are capable of successful mating. But the difficulties do not end there. When the female gives birth, she does so through the same pseudo-penis, and this process often becomes life-threatening for both her and the newborns. Scientists still debate why nature required such a complex system. One theory says it is all about social hierarchy. Hyenas are among the few animals where females rule. They are larger, stronger, and dominate males. The pseudopenis, according to scientists, may have become an instrument of displaying power because it makes females outwardly resemble males, emphasizing their leadership. Despite all the difficulties, hyenas are an extremely successful species. They are intelligent, incredibly organized, and live in tight clans where everyone knows their place. Their communication is a language of its own: laughter, squeals, growls, and even bows. All this helps maintain social order and bonds within the group. And although their mating customs seem monstrously difficult, it is precisely thanks to them that hyenas have become a symbol of strength, endurance, and the power of matriarchy in the wild. In the world of giraffes, strength and status decide everything. Only the most powerful, mature, and confident males get the right to mate. Unlike many animals, female giraffes can reproduce year-round, yet they become receptive about once every 2 weeks. There is only one problem. These giants live over enormous territories, and males have to travel kilometers, moving from one group of females to another in search of a chance. When a male finally finds a suitable partner, he begins courtship. He may lick her tail, rest his head on her back, or gently nudge her with his ossicones, the bony bumps on the crown. If the female reciprocates, the mating scene begins, requiring true balance. The male rises on his hind legs, bracing his forelegs along her flanks. Pregnancy in giraffes lasts unusually long, from 400 to 460 days, almost 15 months. When the time for birth comes, the calf drops to the ground immediately after emerging, which helps sever the umbilical cord. And after only a few hours, the newborn giraffe stands and takes its first steps. Its spotted coat provides excellent camouflage from predators. In the first months, the baby feeds only on milk, but true independence comes at about 14 months of age. Such is the long yet amazing story of new life under the African sun. In the animal world, love does not resemble ours. For some, it is a fight, for others, a dance, and for others still, the language of trust and unity. Every creature, from the tiny porcupine to the giant elephant, is driven by a single force: the instinct of life. Sometimes it takes the form of pain, sometimes of care or play, but the goal is always the same: to preserve the species, to pass the energy onward. And perhaps, watching this mad diversity of mating rituals, we begin to understand ourselves better. For nature reminds us, love, in whatever form it exists, is always worth fighting for.